Brought to you by Penguin.
How Migration Really Works by Hein de Haas. Read by Matthew Spencer. Reader's Note. A lack of clear terminology is a major source of confusion about migration. It is therefore important to clarify a number of key concepts discussed in this book. First of all, this pertains to the term migration. Geographical mobility only counts as migration if it involves a change in habitual residence across administrative borders. Another important distinction is between internal or domestic and international migration, with the first implying a movement between municipalities, states, or provinces within countries, and the second a change of residence across international borders. Immigration means people moving into a country from abroad, and emigration means residents moving out of a country. If people change residence across administrative borders for a certain period of time, in most administrative systems 6 to 12 months, this counts as migration irrespective of people's main migration motive. Based on this definition, a migrant is a person who lives in a place or country other than their place or country of birth. This book applies the category of international migrants only to the foreign-born. In debates on the subject, children and even grandchildren of migrants are commonly included in migrant populations. While this practice is debatable, to avoid unnecessary confusion, I will systematically refer to second- or third-generation migrants when doing so, but the term migrants is reserved for people who have actually made the move themselves. Within the broad migrant category, important migrant types are labour migrants or migrant workers, family migrants, student migrants, and business migrants, as well as forced migrants or refugees. With regard to labour migrants, the terms higher skilled or lower skilled are problematic because they may evoke an image of some migrants being more intelligent than others, and because in practice more and more jobs are in fact mid-skilled. Perhaps a more useful distinction is between manual or blue-collar and white-collar workers. But for the purposes of this book, I will retain the common usage of lower and higher skilled migration, emphasizing that this is about the jobs that migrants do, not their actual intelligence, knowledge, and skills. In fact, many migrants do jobs for which they are overqualified. The category of forced migrants concerns people who primarily move because they face violence or persecution in their origin countries. Although forced migrants are commonly referred to as refugees, an important legal distinction is that between asylum seekers and refugees. An asylum seeker is a person who has applied for refugee status and is still awaiting a decision on their recognition as a refugee. According to the 1951 United Nations Convention relating to the status of refugees, a refugee is a person who, owing to a well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group or political opinions, is outside the country of his nationality and is unable, or owing to such fear, is unwilling to avail himself of the protection of that country. People who flee their regions of origin, but who stay within their own country, are usually referred to as internally displaced persons, IDPs. Another important source of confusion is between smuggling and trafficking. Although these concepts are constantly conflated in media and political discourse, they are entirely different. Smuggling is the use by migrants of paid or unpaid intermediaries, smugglers, to cross borders without prior authorization, either as part of a business transaction or humanitarian activism. Contrary to common perceptions, smuggling is essentially a form of service delivery that migrants, including refugees, are willing to pay for and voluntarily engage in.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?